All right, welcome Hoosier fans to the IU Hoops halftime report. As your Indiana Hoosiers currently trailing the Ohio State Buckeyes 34-31. If I'm a little bit out of breath, if I look a little bit sweaty, trying something new here during first half. So I watched the first half on the elliptical, try and get a little bit of exercise during this, work out some of that nervous energy. Let's talk about that first half. I thought for the first 12 minutes, as Indiana built that 25-18 lead that they had at the under 8-minute timeout, it really felt like Indiana basketball. Indiana was connected on the defensive end. They were really committed to getting the ball inside. The game plan was working. Guys playing hard. It really looked good. And then we saw one of those lulls that we've seen. And Indiana, they didn't score a field goal in the last almost 10 minutes of the first half. The defense got really disconnected there. I thought a big part of the reason for that is it looked like Rob got a little bit gassed, conditioning just not there yet to play a full half. And I thought when he got a little bit gassed, he stopped, containing dribblers quite as well. And Ohio State's guys just got a little bit comfortable. They started driving, getting us into rotations, and it just opened some more things up for them. I think when our guards have done a good job of containing dribblers and they've gone into the post, our post guys have really defended well. Joey Brunk has done a nice job defending Caleb Wesson down low. Caleb Wesson has done most of his work making threes. That's where 6 of his 10 points have come from. And I thought that was a nice adjustment by Chris Holtman. They had gone down low 2 or 3 possessions in a row. Joey Brunk, had that one where he knocked the ball out of bounds a couple of times. Race Thompson had some nice post defense. And so they go pick and pop and just move Joey away from the basket where he's much less adept as a defender. Even though he's dropping his ball screen coverages more, still late getting out to Wesson. And so that was a nice little adjustment by Holtman. And so defensively it was uneven. But I thought Indiana rebounded well there, not like getting rebounds, but bouncing back from the poor defense to finish better defensively. And I thought, Jerome was out there playing hard. I thought Race Thompson provided some nice minutes defensively. But for Indiana to win this game, the guards have to be better defensively. Rob is just going to have to find a way to play at least 15, 16 minutes here in the second half and keep up that ball pressure. Devontae needs to be better, and Al, we'll see what we get from him. He didn't play, obviously, very much there in the first half with the 2 fouls. He was icing his shoulder. So Indiana's going to need something from those guys because if Ohio State, if DJ Carton, if their guys are allowed to dictate the terms on offense and get us moving, that's not going to be a good recipe for us in the second half. So I think that, defensively, that's got to be better. And just, recovering out to shooters. I thought Justin Smith had a really poor performance defensively, frankly. There were several three-pointers, a couple of them by Andre Wesson that I can remember, where Justin's just late getting out there. And as Andy talked about in his text message to us, Justin kind of caught in between enough. He's not helping quickly enough and decisively enough to really do anything to affect where he's trying to help, but then he's also not recovering out there enough. So those guys have to be better. You've got to be able to count on better defense from, your upperclassmen in a game like this. And right now, that's not really happening. Frankly, the one upperclassman that I thought really gave Indiana a nice lift was Deron Davis, outside of Joey Brunk, but was Deron Davis, who provided some nice minutes offensively and defensively, only played 6 minutes. I would like to see him get out there a little bit more. I thought Deron really did a nice job in his minutes, and maybe 6 minutes is good for him. And you play him 5-6 minutes each half, and that's fine. But hopefully he's able to get out there and make an impact. Because for Indiana to only be down 3 and you're getting not much from, Justin Smith has 0 points, 0 for 4. Al Durham has 0 points, hasn't even taken a shot. This is always the worry with him. Is that against a team like Northwestern, he's really into it. He's aggressive. He's confident. But you play a better team like Ohio State with better guards that can really defend him physically, and sometimes he shies away from the moment. We've got to have aggressive Al Durham and smart Al Durham, and that guy hasn't shown up today. And obviously Devontae Green hasn't given Indiana very much. Does have 4 points, and I did think there was one play from Devontae late in the second, or late there in the first half. When was that? I've got that in my notes. It was 31-26, and kind of looked like Ohio State. It's like an inflection point for the half. Are they going to push this out to a 10, 12-point lead, or do we battle back? Justin takes a bad shot. Indiana has no transition defense. Fortunately, they miss, and Devontae hustled for a rebound and got fouled. Went up, knocked down the 2 free throws. And that to me was so indicative of how he can impact the game when he's just being aware, playing instinctively, and hustling. Not with trying to be a shot maker, taking long twos and step backs early in the clock, before the ball's gone in bounds. Make some hustle plays, do that kind of stuff. That was the most impactful play that he made, and he was just reacting to a ball being there and hustling to get it. We need more of that from him. He has otherwise seemed listless, and obviously he's trying to make an impact, but the shot selection isn't good. And, you think back offensively, why did Indiana build the early lead? The first sequence of the game, they went inside, just pounding the ball inside. Trace Jackson Davis touched it on the first 3 possessions. Indiana had 7 points. Not a coincidence, and Indiana went away from that a little bit, started shooting more, off of one pass, taking quick shots. That's not the recipe. They've got to get the ball inside. Why were they able to grind their way back and make this a 3-point game at the half? They got the ball inside. Joey Brunk got the ball inside. They did that post up with Jerome Hunter, which we'd like to see more of. That's what Indiana has to do. And so, you look at the reasons for that drought, it's the same that they've been. We go away from what's really been working, getting the ball inside. We take quick shots. We're not good enough shot makers to just take quick shots like that. So if Indiana can stay committed to the game plan and then stay connected defensively and at least moderately control dribblers, they're going to be fine in this game. Because for a long stretch there, they played well, and I'm impressed that they were able to have that bad stretch but grind their way back. Like, that first half was imperfect, but it showed growth. Because the first 12 minutes were really good. They got off to the good start. They hit that lull, and that's where games have gone sideways to the point where they get out of hand. And Indiana battled back without upperclassmen doing a lot because of the lift that Jerome Hunter brought, because of the lift that Race Thompson, brought off the bench with their energy, with their defense. Jerome Hunter able to knock down 3 or 4 free throws in a half when his teammates absolutely didn't. That was really big. And so I'd like to see that more. Let's get the ball into Jerome with mismatches in the post. Let's get Deron Davis in there and play that inside-out game. I thought the one play where Deron got it inside and Jerome recognized a cutting lane and cut, he ended up getting fouled on that play. More of that. That's what we want to see from those guys. And if you're not going to get it from Justin, if you're not going to get it from Al, if you're not going to get it with Devontae, and you've got enough healthy bodies and they're playing hard and smart, put those guys in there. That's what's got to be the formula for this team. And so I'm going to be interested to see how the playing time is doled out. I didn't think Devontae earned his 14 minutes, and I didn't think Justin really earned his 13 minutes. And so those guys either have to be better or you just got to roll with the other guys because they were giving Indiana more. So, and yes, as many people said, the officiating was atrocious. That hurt. Indiana probably on balance played well enough to be ahead if you get some of the calls that you think. But either way, I liked the first half overall. I thought Indiana showed some growth in some important areas, battled back from that tough stretch. Now what happens in the second half? Does the starting lineup change based on what we saw in the first half? Are those guys who gave you a lift in the first half able to keep it going in the second half? And can you get something from Devontae, Justin, and Al? Frankly, I don't think Indiana can win this game if one of those guys doesn't emerge as a good, productive player in the second half. We'll see who it is. No real telling from how they played in the first half who that might be. But they're all better than they showed there, and they need to play better in the second half. Hopefully they do. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Always a pleasure to talk with you guys on the halftime report. Hopefully you got some good insight from it. We'll be here on the post-game show. Andy might be able to join us. Definitely going to be me. Definitely going to be Ryan. Hopefully we have a victorious episode to talk about because this would be a big win for Indiana to get with 2 winnable but also very losable road games coming up. An important 3-game stretch. Indiana needs to get off to a good start. This is a winnable game against a good team. Have to find a way to get it at home. Let's go see if Indiana does it. Talk to you guys on the post-game show.